Good morning from Germany. Enjoy this beautiful landscape. The sun is shining, cloudy sky, and a V8 is in the background. Engine's running because we had some issues with the battery of this awesome Bitter CD. Bitter CD, German produced. It's not a supercar, it is a GT. So there's a lot to talk about this car. It's one of the cars you will see at the PS Rally next weekend. It's a rally here in Lower Saxony, starting at the PS Speicher, and there is a castle called Schloss Dörneburg, Castle Dörneburg, and I go there today with this Bitter, and I will tell you lots of interesting things about this car. Let's take a quick walk around it. Of course, pop-up headlights. It's such a beautiful thing and it sounds amazing. So follow me for a tour in the Bitter. Let's go. Okay, I'm in the Bitter CD. It is all very familiar to me because some months ago I was driving a Opel Admiral. Admiral is a close relative to the Diplomat, so well, don't get distracted by the sat-nav because as I said, I'm on the way to the Castle Dörneburg and I don't know the way. But back to the car. Okay. So the Opel Diplomat, Opel Admiral. So it is all pretty much the same interior. However, it is all in beautiful leather here, but I will show you all that later in the room tour. Now let's understand this car, the Bitter CD. And to understand the car, we have to talk about two things. One is Erich Bitter, the founder of the Bitter company, today over 90 years old. And we have to talk about the supercars, the hypercars, the GT cars of the 1960s and 70s. So, but let's start with Erich Bitter. He started his career as a bicycle racer. He was actually racing the Tour de France. After that, he started another career as a rally driver. He was pretty successful. He raced many cars that all ended up with being a works driver for Abarth. So he was quite often at Abarth in Turin, and that played a major role in in what I'm sitting here today and how this came to life. So Erich Bitter, he was a rally driver. He made some bad experiences. So he was involved in some bad crashes, in fiery crashes. He almost died in a crash, and he had a company called Rally Bitter, so another career. He was selling all sorts of stuff for racing drivers. For example, fireproof racing suits. He developed a material together with DuPont called Nomex, I guess. We have to turn right now. Let's check the way. Yes. Okay, so he had these racing suits. He actually stopped his career as a racing driver, but he already had many contacts to Abarth. So he ended up with being the main distributor for Abarth cars in Germany. In fact, he was the dealer for many cars. He sold NSU, Volvo, Saab, maybe some more. Not sure about that part of the Bitter history. So he was involved into all these small Abarth cars, and he was quite often in Turin. And in Turin, he met them all. Bertoni, Pininfarina, Michelotto, the lot. He met them, he saw how they were making cars, how they were building their cars, and he saw lots of problems, good designs, terrible quality. And while being in Turin, he met a chap called Frank Reisner. Frank Reisner came from Canada to Italy, to Turin, to fulfill his dream of his own supercar, and that was the Intermechanica. And Intermechanica it's basically a hybrid. It's not a Prius though. It's a hybrid in the sense that it was an Italian design and a bulletproof, mass-produced engine, drivetrain, the lot. So his designs were Italian designs, and I think he used Ford running gear for his cars. By the way, I think Intermechanica is a cool name. But well, back to the cars. So, and in Turin, Bitter came in contact with Reisner, and Reisner needed new engines, new drivetrains, or maybe it was Bitter's idea. I'm not quite sure. But they ended up with contacts Bitter had already with Opel. At some point, Opel were looking for a racing driver for a test drive of the iconic Black Widow. The Black Widow was I think, Opel record-based race car, and I think the early test drives were done by Erich Bitter. So contacts were made with Opel. So Bitter was a household name in Rüsselsheim, so he had all his contacts, and this all came together. And in the end, Bitter became the main distributor for Intermechanica in Germany, and that caused a lot of problems. I mean, in the end, they got running gear from General Motors. I think for the Intermechanica Indra or Italia. I'm not sure which one it was. If you're a proper supercar expert, you please comment, or I will correct myself somewhere here. Anyway, Bitter was selling the cars, and well, these were not good because the quality of the cars out of the Intermechanica shop were terrible. Intermechanica, when Bitter been at Intermechanica for the first time, he noticed that they don't have a paint shop for the cars. They were painting the car outside of their workshop. Well, I love stories like that, to be honest. Well, the work together with Reisner and Intermechanica, that came to an end. I have to stop here because there's a truck in front of me and I don't know what he's doing, so let's go and pass this massive truck. Whoa, this engine. Well, we talk about the engine soon. It's a 5.4, by the way, V8, General Motors material. You find this engine in the Diplomat, in some Admirals, and of course in the Chevrolet Corvette. But where was I? I'm a bit chaotic today. So, Intermechanica, that all came to an end, but the idea was still in Bitter's head, creating some sort of supercar, some sort of GT car, which is fit for daily use. So Bitter became a manufacturer. So on the way to the Bitter CD, something exciting was happening at Opel. On the IAA in Frankfurt, 1969, Opel showed a very, very interesting concept car. Basically a supercar, a GT car. It was designed by Chuck Jordan, who was very close with legend Harvey Earl. So they showed this car, and Bob Lutz, at the time at Opel in Germany, he loved it, and he wanted to have this in the Opel showroom. So they got in touch with Pietro Frua in Italy. Frua actually reworked the design, but Frua just had no capacities for a production line. And so the whole thing ended at Bitter. So Bitter said, I'm gonna do it. So give me the design, give me the drivetrain, give me basically everything, and I will take care of everything else. Just like Früher, Bitter himself hadn't the capacity for producing a GT car. So he asked Bauer in Stuttgart. So Bauer did the whole thing. The car came from Bauer, was produced at Bauer at a pretty high quality. I will show you the car in all details pretty soon. And well, there was the Bitter CD. So I'm now at Schloss Dörneburg. Such a nice place, and it's the perfect background for this car in my eyes. So the Bitter is a fantastic driving experience. It is one of the most exciting cars I've ever driven. It feels fantastic. It's a fantastic cruiser. Well, I'm about to show you all the details. This is just a quick stop here at the castle. Let's hop into the car again. Let's find a place where I can show you the inside and the outside. Well, let's go. Well, and as it seems, the battery is flat. Well, we try to organize to jumpstart the car now, and while I am waiting for all the stuff we need, I'm going to show you the car. It is a very cool looking design. It has quite a lot of Italian clues. It looks like a Italian car in my eyes, but it isn't. Let's go at the back of it. There we have a very large glass hatch. That is a very remarkable part of the whole car. By the way, there we have the carrosserie Bauer logo, because this whole car was built at Bauer. You might know the rear lights because these are from a Fiat 124, and you also know them from the Lamborghini Espada. And you could say the Lamborghini Espada is the sometimes not working version of the Bitter CD. I think the wheels are Opel wheels. I'm not quite sure about that. Okay, I think the jump start's coming. Because of battery issues, I'm now at a, well, it's not a nice place, but I think it is okay to show you some details of the car, especially the interior. And also, I will grab my microphone because engine is running, and well, it sounds very good. Let's get the microphone back in place. So outside, this is the fuel filler flap. It says Bitter CD. There we have, by the way, the Bauer logo, the pop-up or pop-out rear window. I love the glass hatch, the massive glass hatch. By the way, rear visibility is really quite good. So, well, it's good for daily use. I'm saying that with a flat battery, but it's only a battery, you know. Okay, rear lights from a Fiat 124, and the Lamborghini Espada had them as well. I think the wheels are from Opel. Let's check out the front of the car. So, of course, pop-up headlights. Well, you know what? Let's pop up the headlights. By the way, the door is massive and it's heavy. It's heavy, and it's all Opel. The mirrors too. So let's open the door. By the way, I love the. Oh, there's a truck. the frameless quarter light here. So bonnet release is there, and when I press this button, all the magic happens at the front. So anyway, let's see how it looks. It looks stunning. What I really like is the Bitter logo. So that's the Bitter from outside. And now we take a proper look inside. Excuse me, my gear is still on all places in the car. Truck reversing, but not into us. Let's open the door. Just have a look at it. I mean, just have a look at the door. It's such a large door. This is for locking the door. This is the inner door handle, pioneer steering, and this is for the mirrors, the mirror control. What I like about this car is it's all in a green velour, and that really looks the part. Let's close the door and let's have a look at what's going on inside. I think we need a little bit more light. So that should be enough. So it is a very comfy and nice place. I've already shown you the whole radio, but I think I'm gonna do that again. By the way, there is an original Bitter key fob in here. It's all made in leather. I don't know if you can see it. It has a Bitter logo on it. So what do we have here? We have a cigarette lighter, because of course the celebrity of the 1970s wanted to have a cigarette in the car. Then we have some that's an ashtray again with the Bitter logo right here. Automatic gearbox out of the Opel KAD, out of the Diplomat. Electric windows at both sides. These are a bit tired, so I'm not opening it. So, then we have the AC. Honestly, I'm not sure how it works. So we have this piece right here, and these buttons right there, and you turn them around, and some things happen. I think this is the on and off switch of the AC. Okay. I don't know. I think this is for the rear window. It says alarm. Okay, these are the hazard lights. I think this is the rear window heating. Let's get straight to the radio, because I think this is amazing. So it's a swan neck unit. So you all the stuff you need for the radio is here near the steering wheel. Let's have a close look at it. It is all blowpunkt, and there's the other part of the radio, and you can see there are no turning knobs right here. Oh, there's still a tape in it. There you go. That's something I like. And my favorite detail I already showed you. I'm not done with the editing at this point, so maybe not. I'm not sure. Anyways, just have a look at it. There's a small microphone, and there is I would say this is the record button, but you can probably use it here. That's start and stop. So what else? Yeah, it is all Opel Diplomat. If you're familiar with the KADB cars, it's all, you know it all. Steering wheel is from an Opel. It is in leather, just like the whole dashboard. Quite a lot of leather involved in this car, and quite a lot of wood. There's lots of wood veneer here around almost everything. I love the look of the gauges, also with a Bitter logo right there. Speed. Then we have the ref counter right here. Petrol, temperature, KPCM. Because I'm an idiot, I can't tell you right now. And of course, we have a broken clock right here. So yeah, that's the room tour. I think we should get on the rear bench. Now I'm open the door, and it is heavy. It's proper bodybuilder could use that like it should. Okay, let's get on the rear bench. So you release. Do you release it here? Sorry, it's a one-man operation what I'm doing. That's why it is all a bit chaotic. Seats look super comfy to me. I already said I already told you the criteria of a proper GT. One criteria is it should have a rear bench, but it shouldn't be very comfy. And well, so I just show you the leg room because well, there is no leg room, right? So however they are, well, let's open the window here at the rear, so and let's close it again. Okay, so this is me talking from a rear bench of a Bitter CD. Okay, let's get back into the front of the car. Already said seats, everything. It's all Opel Diplomat. Let's open the bonnet. Let's open the bonnet. So the release for the bonnet is right here. Easy. And this is the release, I think, for the is it the rear hatch or the fuel filler flap? I don't know. It did not work when I used it minutes ago. So let's open the thing. It does not open right now, so I may have done it properly. I just said it easy, but it's not. So now it is open, and it is heavy. It is heavy. So the V8's running because of the battery issues it has. I hope you can get some of the sound. Let's put the microphone a little closer. So there we have the battery, and well, you see. Well, you know, engines are not my territory. So better close the bonnet. Yeah, that's it. The Bitter CD. I'm switching now the lights off because of all the issues. There's the traffic going, and I will follow all these cars now back to the PS Speicher. The Bitter CD was produced between 73 and 79, and it was really quite successful for such a small manufacturer like Bitter. 395 left the Bauer factory, and it was followed by the Bitter CS, the Coupe Senator. So the Opel Diplomat was followed by the Senator, and the V8 simply wasn't available anymore. And that meant a new car for Bitter. And the So yes, it was successful too. It sold very well. Looked pretty much like a Ferrari 400, if you ask me. And that car was actually available in the United States too. There were some interesting versions. They had even a saloon and a convertible, but more like prototypes. Only a handful have been made of these. In 1986, it was all over. But before all that happened, something interesting is at the history of Bitter. Believe it or not, but at some point, Bitter was close to buy Lamborghini. So there are two perspectives now. The one is, well, how bad was it at Lamborghini? The other is, how much money had Bitter? But it was not working because Bitter had to, buy 200 workers and had to pay 200 workers at Lamborghini, so it was just not possible. The idea was to get the engines from Lamborghini, but in the end it was Opel again. So this is the history of Bitter in a nutshell. There is way more to say about Bitter. If you speak German, there's a podcast called Alte Schule, and they have a very interesting interview with Erich Bitter. So for today, that's it. It was a episode of Horseless Carriage with some battery problems. I hope you like the video. I hope I could share the experience driving this with you anyway. Leave a comment, like the video or not like the video. Subscribe to my channel. There's this notification bell. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Pretty sure you did. I hope to see you soon. And I'm driving now back to the PS Speicher and I enjoy the drive. Bye bye.